Hey, welcome to On the Path podcast with Cheryl Nembhard. Since I was a kid, I was told my conversations were way too deep. Well, now it's paying off. Join me and the names you know as we go deep into their personal stories of triumph, tragedy, and the lessons they've learned along the way. Friends, this crazy, overwhelming life we live calls for some serious encouragement and inspiration. So grab a cup of coffee and get your notebook because we're going into the classroom of life. So let's get lifted with faith filled conversations. I'll see you on the path.
You're listening to On the Path with Cheryl Nembhard, brought to you by Compassion Canada.
Hey guys, so glad to have you back at On the Path. We've got an exciting conversation for you today. We are going to be stirring your heart around what it means to make a difference in this world. We need to move from influence into impact. And what does it look like to impact the world around us, particularly those who are in struggling economies and demographics who need our help? What does it mean to show compassion in our everyday life? I have an incredible story for you that's going to move your heart. I cannot wait for you to meet this guest. Ria Kalaw was born and raised in Baguio City, Philippines, and is a proud Compassion alumni. She grew up in abject poverty and she didn't always imagine a bright future for herself. And everything changed when she was registered into the Compassion program at her local church and was sponsored by a university student, not even someone established, just someone going to school, named Alvina in the US. And God's been faithful in her life, and she's now able to give back to Compassion Canada as a staff member. And she is now the proud sponsor of a beautiful young boy named Roger, who's from the same Compassion Center where she grew up. She's happily married with her husband. She's a mom of 3 children, and her story is so beautiful and full circle. Will you welcome Ria Kalaw to On the Path? Welcome, Ria.
Thank you, Cheryl. First, I just want to thank you for, inviting me into your podcast. And I hope we share a good time together. Yeah.
I think so too. I know your story. It is going to be a powerful one for people to hear. But first, Ria, why don't we introduce ourselves a little bit in this way? Tell us a little bit about what life looked like for you as a young child, maybe
Mhm.
0 to 5, 6 years old in the Philippines, those early years.
Yeah. So, yeah, basically, I was the eldest among 3 children. So I was also the only girl. While we were growing up, life was really hard. And um we it's really hard to determine what's the future gonna look like. My parents, they didn't have permanent jobs, and my father in particular, he kept on having so many jobs that I don't even remember him having any rest days. But then again, it's so hard to make ends meet, and for the longest time, I remember our family, we work as caretakers. We have this vacation house, we serve the guests, and then we clean up the property, we do some chores, and in return we get a free lodging. And it's under a staircase. It's a small room for the 5 of us, and it's where most of my childhood was spent. Mm.
I want to say that again because I think we need to sit with that. You
Mhm.
literally lived with a family of siblings and your parents under
Mhm.
a staircase of a home. That
Yes.
was where you lived.
Yes.
How many years would you say you were there?
Actually, it was until university. So it's been since I was young until I graduated, basically. So it was for many, many years.
I'm so blown away, Ria. You haven't even gotten into your story, but I think for us, we don't really fully understand.
Mhm.
We live in apartments and houses and different things, and we complain about not having enough space. How many siblings did you have?
So I have 2 siblings. I have 2 brothers who's 2 years and 8 years younger than I am. And then, yeah. So how it looked like is that we have this double deck, My parents will be at the floor. My siblings will be the one on the first floor of the double deck. And then I'm on the one on top. I guess I still was the most privileged, right? Because I get the space there. But yeah, it's how it looked like.
So, a family of five guys
Mhm.
growing up in Baguio City in the Philippines, living underneath the staircase of a vacation home that they took care of and cleaned. And now today, you are serving in Compassion Canada, literally the same program that helped to shape and rescue you. Tell me about that journey. When did that change happen? What was the moment for you where you started to see a little bit of
Mhm.
brightness in your future?
Yeah, so yes, I am been serving Compassion Canada for more than 4 years now. And it all started when I got enrolled in the Compassion program in our local church partner in the Philippines. So, Compassion as a ministry, they just didn't provide me the practical things such as, access to healthcare or school supplies. But then again, through this program, it's where I have come to know and accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. And that's it. End of story. No, but also I had access to education. It's because of Compassion. So I finished accounting with their help, and then after that I took the CPA licensure examination. I was able to work with the biggest companies in the Philippines, support my family, and come 2019, when a year after getting married, I decided to move here in Canada and follow my husband. So I guess it was my heart that keeps me bringing back into the ministry that shaped my life. So after a month, I called Compassion Canada. I said I want to volunteer, and I could just remember that moment. Why do you want to volunteer? And I just said because I am a Compassion alumna. I was once sponsored, and then tears were just coming out my eyes, and then the person I'm talking to was also crying. Yeah, and then months after that, in the same event where I did volunteer, I said yes to sponsoring Roger with the zero savings, and actually with all the hardships of being a new immigrant. I said yes. And then again, it was a blessing. It was always a blessing after that. In 2021, um when the pandemic was slowing down, an opportunity to become staff was there. So I grabbed that, I applied, and now I serve our donors. I take care of our relationship with our donors, and at the same time, I am able to share my story to inspire others to do the same. I get it's all God's work.
This is incredible. I love this story, Ria, and I'm so glad that you're sharing it. And when you talk about growing up in abject poverty, whenever you get to tell your story, you always say that
Mhm.
it's not just about a lack of resources.
Mhm.
You say that it's about feeling unseen. Can you that hits home for me.
Mhm.
Why
Mhm.
do you equate being impoverished to feeling unseen?
Yeah, you see, for many people, when you say poverty, it means the material things, right? But for me, when it was more of spiritual poverty, of financial poverty, and social poverty. And what was hardest in my part was feeling unseen and that there was no sense of belongingness. So I grew up in a city where there's a huge gap between the social statuses. But so at a very young age, it was enough for me, to understand that there are things that I couldn't have. And when I go to school, when I see well dressed children with full lunch boxes, it was enough to understand that, people can get what they need and what they want. But for some people, like me and my siblings, we can just sometimes get what we need, but not what we want. And that all those things, it just made me quiet, quiet in the sense that I don't exist at all. It's because it became a way of protecting myself. If you don't want to be bullied, if you don't want added attention, then just keep quiet, right? It was so hard to go in front the stage, to make friends, or to share something about myself. Yeah, and if I could think of it the way I share my story now, if I am stuck in that scenario, then it's totally impossible.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Ria, I wonder when you were living in abject poverty
Mhm.
and your father was working to the
Mhm.
bone and there wasn't enough food or enough of anything coming in,
Mhm.
what was going through your mind at the time?
Oh, to be honest, you will start questioning things. Does God even exist, or is there a brighter future for us? Is there really hope? Are there still good people? I mean, it's all the negativity that's been pulling you down. It makes you feel small, like that's it.
Hmm. Yeah, and then your life began to shift. Tell me about the moment that you found out you had been sponsored.
So being part of the compassion program, it's really life changing. So at first, it was, the practical things such as you can open Christmas gifts, you have access to the dentist, or, you can go to a youth activity for the first time. But later on, it was the people in my child center, the mentors, the pastors, the volunteers, and my sponsor. It was around 6 or 7 years old when I met all of them. Um, it was their encouragement that gave me the sense of hope. The love they showed me is where hope came from. Hope that I can be somebody else. I am someone. I can be confident. I can be different, and maybe someday I can make a difference.
Hmm. Gosh, I love that. And
Mhm.
and your sponsor was a university student. I want to just
Mm,
pause there because I think that so many of us think that we can't make a difference until we are
already.
established and have money in place and have all these. We make a list for ourselves
Mm,
that once those things are done, then we can make a difference. And here's this young woman, just getting started in her life, but felt a call from God.
mhm.
Tell me a little bit about Alvina and the relationship you had with her.
Yeah. So Alvina is someone I didn't have. When I mentioned that I'm the only girl in the family and I'm the eldest, she was always like the big sister to me. So in that sense, she was so special. And then yeah, just you mentioned, she started sponsoring me when she was a university student herself. So, but ever since, she was very young, but she was so consistent. She faithfully write me those letters, so many letters, and yeah, those letters that she sent to me, I have it. Everything I have it from me. Some are in the Philippines, some are with me here in Canada. And yeah, I just pulled out one because she wrote this on my birthday last February. I mean, February before, in February 2004. And
Wow.
yeah, and you just giving a chance to read what she wrote in here.
Yes.
So this is what she said. You can make a difference in this world by just being you and knowing Him. I love you, and my hope for you is that you live your life as an example of Christ for others to see and grab a hold of so that they'll know the love of God by just knowing you. So, how amazing, how sweet it is, right? All my thinking before is that how come this stranger, this beautiful stranger, loves me with all her heart? And thinking about us like, how much more can God love me? How much more can He care for me? And that's just a
Mm,
stranger, right? So that alone gave me the thinking that, you're capable of doing anything. And yeah, her
mm,
letters, her encouragement, it become a way for me to feel God's love, the love of Jesus in a very real way.
Gosh, Ria, thank you for sharing that with us. That's so meaningful. What did it mean for you to know that someone all the way in the U.S. was praying
Mhm.
for you and hoping for your flourishing?
Yeah, so she's very, actually, I don't even know where she was that time. I just know there's someone far away caring for me, and that made me feel valued. It gave me a sense that someone there cares for you. You might not see him, just like God, right? You don't see them, you don't see him, but someone cares for you, someone believes in you.
Mm. And you know what's amazing to me? I look at you now and you're just doing so many things, incredible things for Compassion Canada,
Mhm.
stepping into ministry, doing what God has called you to do. You're a wife, you're a mother, and you've sponsored a young child. Tell me
Mhm.
about the decision that came up for you to do this full circle moment um, of sponsoring someone who was from the same center as you. Wow.
Yeah, so I think sponsoring Roger is my favorite part of the story. It's not just because we grew up in the same child center or the same city. It's more so him in my life is a reminder of God's goodness and His calling to serve in a Christ-like way. All the things that I get that was done to me, now I get to do for this child and some more other child. And you know what do you call this one? Um, it doesn't matter how small the part I play in his life.
Mm.
Um, because for me, it's an incredible privilege to be part of this story of his story now. It's just a blessing, and I'm just overwhelmed. Oh, just to have him. in my life.
Mm. And tell us a little bit about Roger. How old is he right now?
Roger is now around 12 years old. So I got to meet him once when we were in the vacation in the Philippines, and I met him on the day of his birthday. I just specifically chose that day, and I give him sneakers. And now every now and then in his letters, in every single one of them, he will tell me, I cross my fingers. I pray so hard that we meet each other again. And the
Oh my
same goes for
goodness.
me.
Ria, I love that. And I feel like there's a teachable lesson there for all of us. Why was it important for you to do this?
I believe that um, when you invest in a child's life, you just don't change one life. Rather, you impact the whole future. It's because children, especially those living in poverty, they are the most vulnerable. And sometimes, without help, without support, they couldn't reach their full potential, nor could they dream just beyond their circumstances. But then, if they experience God's love, if they experience dignity, education, or just a simple support, it could change the trajectory of their life. And, we could all have like a better future.
Hmm.
So I think
And
that
what I love that, Ria. And what would you say to someone who's thinking, um, I can't possibly make a difference?
I would probably say you are wrong because 100% absolutely it does. You can change a life. And I am a living proof of that because someone chose to care, someone chose to invest.
Mm.
Then I was able to, discover my calling, finish my school, be a better version of myself. And now I even have the opportunity to give back. So how wonderful is that, right? So one step of generosity or compassion, it could lead into a whole new cycle of generosity.
Mm. I love that. And um, when people are thinking about ways that they can show compassion in the world,
Mhm.
you're a firm believer of Compassion Canada, I know. What have you seen that organization do on a whole for children around the world, not just for the Philippines? Tell us a little bit about the work that Compassion Canada does.
Oh, Compassion Canada actually works with 29 countries right now. So if you want to learn more about, the things that we do, you can visit www.compassion.ca, or you can also follow us on our socials. Well, there's an incredible community of people who believes that every child should be known for, cared for, that they should be hoping for their future, and that there are so many ways to give. To help. You can give a donation, you can sponsor, you can volunteer, you can pray, or just, know about our mission, which is releasing children from
Mhm.
poverty in Jesus' name.
Yeah, Ria, I gotta share, I gotta jump in because I was privileged to be on a sort of a incredible missions trip
Oh,
to the
wow.
Dominican Republic, and that was last year. I was sponsored by Compassion Canada to go and see for myself with my own eyes the
Mhm.
work that Compassion is doing. I could not believe how much they did with so little.
Yes.
The incredible programs that they ran. I got to sit with the kids and hear their story. But more importantly, we went house to house and sat with families, mothers and fathers that shared how compassion not just changed the child that was sponsored, but compassion has a belief that the whole family benefits in some
Yes,
way.
yes,
and
yes.
so and so I don't know if that was the case for you, but everyone starts to feel different.
Hmm.
They start to see some help coming in, and it's not just for that child. And now you're a mother. I
Mm.
wonder how has that changed you, uh, and how does that make you feel about pouring into the next generation?
Mhm. So, motherhood actually humbled and teach me a lot of things, like so many things that I didn't know before. But more so, it also made me realize deeply the compassion's mission. When I look at my child, when I look in their eyes, then the more that I believe that the more that I want each child to be loved, to be known for, to be cared for, to be protected, and for them to be hopeful of their future. The more that I want, it gave me, So it made me become more passionate to be advocating for children who may not have the same opportunity. It's just that my child's innocence, the way they are now,
Mm.
it just keeps me reminding me that, give them love, give them hope, and then you can change the future.
Oh, Ria, I love this so much. I'm so
Mhm.
thankful for you. I always believe one of the things I say here in our podcast and
Mhm.
whenever I get to speak is that who we become, it doesn't happen in the wonderful, joyous, happy, shiny moments of our life, but
Mhm.
it's in the valley, it's in the hard,
Mhm.
tough seasons. It's when, like you, when you feel like all hope is gone, those are
Mhm.
the moments that shape our character, deepen our faith in God, bring us close as a family. And I wanted to know for you, what have the storms of your life um, taught you about God? What have the storms taught you about Ria? And what have the storms taught you about the importance of community around you? So 3 things there if you can
Mhm.
answer.
So yeah, so those days that I felt alone, maybe not belonging to anyone anywhere, the hardest days, all those just made me realize one thing. God was there all along. He just didn't watch me, just decide on your own or whatever. He sent me people to care for me, to love me, and all the more, now that I realize it, He was carrying me all alone. His presence, I may have felt small, but over time, he taught me that I am loved by a great God, and so I am capable of doing anything, and I have my worth. I am more than my circumstances. And yeah, probably as Ria, I just learned that there is really power in giving, in a small act of kindness. It may be simple for one small act of compassion, it might be simple, or like $1 may be small, but really, for someone, for a little girl like me before, on the receiving end, it means everything. Yeah,
Hmm.
those.
Yeah, and are you involved in your local church, or what are the things that you're doing outside of compassion that are making a difference? I'd love to hear about those things as well.
Yeah, right now I believe that being a mother is a ministry itself. Like, honestly, right now
It
I'm
is.
yeah.
It is.
My hands are full with the kids, but I also go to church. I am still active back home, so every now and then, my pledge to myself is that never forget where you came from. Never forget your brothers and sisters there. So, right now, because I'm on maternity leave, what I do is I still send boxes, donations. Um,
Oh, wow.
yeah, for the Philippines. So sometimes I ask my friends or family members. We make these boxes. We call it balikbayan boxes. It's big boxes full of toys.
Wow.
And the last time I sent, it's for a church in there. So I had this. I had someone who was with me in a compassion journey, like also a sponsored child. But now she and her husband, they're putting up a church and doing the ministry with nothing at all. So those little things.
Hmm. Ria, I saved this
Mhm.
question because it's a big one. I want you to take your
Mhm.
time. But I wonder, what would Ria now say to little Ria living under the staircase of that home with no food, no support, no hope?
Yeah, maybe sometimes it's harder to talk to yourself, no, to your old self. But maybe when I see her, I'll tell her, just rest. Because I think I may be a child before, but I haven't felt like I was a child. No time to play, no time to relax. It was because you wanted to get out of that situation. So if I get to talk to her, I'll tell her, just calm down, be there. Someone's there for you. You're gonna have a wonderful future. God is with you,
Mm,
and so are the people. There's gonna be more people coming in to help you every step of the way. Don't lose hope, and just be
mm,
there. Stay put. Go play outside. Okay.
mm.
Be yourself.
Yeah.
and God will do the
And
rest.
trusting God.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and trusting God. I love this
Mhm.
conversation, and for people that are thinking about, they're moved by this conversation, or they've been really thinking
Mhm.
about sponsoring a child or getting involved,
Yeah.
volunteering, helping. What would be the process? How would they begin that journey, especially at Compassion Canada?
Oh, sure. So, first, you can visit our website, the www.compassion.ca. In there, you have many options of how you can help. You can always call our hotline. So in there, you can state, like, you can, it's just that's there. You can tell them if you want to sponsor, or they can also introduce ways for you to help. I guess that's the easiest way. If you want to learn more, it's always there. Social media also, everywhere. Just hit in there, type in there Compassion Canada. You'll get to know more about us and our mission.
That's so great. And
Mhm.
as I close out this conversation, I always love to do it in this way.
Mhm.
I'd love for you to finish the sentence and just, say a few things about the answer. Here we go.
Okay.
Ria, what is it time for? What is it time for?
What is time for? Is it the
Wh-
sorry?
what is it time for? What should we be
Oh,
thinking of? Yeah.
it's time for change. It's time to help. Like, this is the
Mm.
time to help.
I love that. It's the
Hmm.
time to help. I'm gonna turn it
Okay.
opposite. What is it not time for?
It's not time to doubt yourself. Just give it a go.
Oh wow. It's not time to doubt yourself. Yes, I love that. Trust your voice and know that God is charting out your path. Ria, you are a gift. You are a miracle. I'm so thankful for you. How can we keep in touch with you? Where are you on social media?
Yeah, I'm on social media, but I'm not that active right now, to be honest. But yeah, I have my Facebook account and um, yeah, and I also have my own story, my own in the Compassion website. But yeah, I'm gonna be more active after a year if you want to hear more about me in Compassion. But yeah, for now, I'm taking my time to support my little one.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And before we go, Ria, any last words you want to give to our listeners?
Oh, it's just thank you for this wonderful time, Cheryl. And yeah, if you are doubting yourself, if you can make a difference, then yes, you can. And the best time to do it is now. And I just pray that each and every one of you feel God's moving and God's love in every day and every single way.
That's so beautiful. Thank you for being on the path, Ria.
Oh
You're
no.
such a gift. I cannot wait to see the rest of your story unfold the way God is using you so beautifully.
Oh, thank you so much, Cheryl.
Thank you for listening to On the Path with Cheryl Nembhard, brought to you by Compassion Canada.